video, post it up to YouTube, put it into Bitbucket and Canvas, and then discovered that there was no sound recording with it. So I'm going to be quickly going over this again. I've posted kind of these steps describing what will be involved with submitting the homework as an announcement on Bitbucket, as well as notes here in our class resources under document submitting homework.md. The current YouTube video is to the silent one, and that will be replaced by the version that I'm generating right now. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that we have a Bitbucket repository that's just for our homework. In my case, I've created one that I'm calling BEC 6950. If you have not yet generated one, you can easily follow the steps here on Bitbucket under Create Repository, and it will give you a step-by-step guide to making a repository. You want to make sure that it is a Git repository and blah, blah, blah. But once you've created it, then once you've created on Bitbucket, it will give you, ask you, do you have it, if I'm starting from scratch, and which you will be, what to do on the command line in Jupyter Hub with the bash terminal. So, but I've already created one. It's BEC 6950. What I need to do is I need to clone it to my Jupyter Hub computer. Cloning means I'm creating a local repository, local version of the repository on my computer that I can add, modify files, etc., and then I can push changes back up to Bitbucket when I'm ready to do so. So to clone it, you need to get the address of your repository. In my case, I'm using SSH. Most of you will be using HTTPS. So we copy this address, and then we need to go into a Jovian terminal on Jupyter Hub, and I'm going to remove what I had created on the last. In fact, I'm going to do remove-rf. So I'm removing this directory that I had created earlier in the demonstration, and I'm going to do it recursively to remove the whole file structure, and I'm going to force it to remove files that are protected and with permissions. So to clone the repository on my computer, I would do git clone, and then I would paste in the address of my repository on Bitbucket. And now with an list ls, I can see that I have this directory BC 6950, etc. All right. So now that I have it, what I would do is I would make a directory. In this case, I already have homework 2 created, but I could make another directory called homework 2b, and I could then change directory to homework 2b. And this is where my solution is going to reside. Now my solution is just going to be an edit of the IPython notebook that was provided as part of the repository. So now I need to copy that notebook that is in the module 2 repository, the class repository under module 2, to this my homework repository. So I'm going to go to, it's located in work, 6950 2016. This is where I've cloned it to. Your address might be different. Modules M2, homework, and then it's M2, homework, etc. Okay, now you see I have this file here. If I do a git status, Git's going to say, oh, you've got this untracked file, M2 homework collections, etc. Well, before I add it, let's make some changes to it. So let me come over here. Okay, I'm going to back up because I made a mistake. I did this in my home directory instead of work. Then that can't be seen from the notebook. So let me just change directory to where my original clone of this is, 6950. I'm going to make a directory homework 2b. I'm going to change directory to homework 2b. I'm going to repeat this copy command that I just did. And now, I see I have this M2 homework collections. Now I can modify this file. Okay, now as I go to my homework repository in my browser, I have this homework 1, homework 2, homework 2b. This is my demo. Select my Python 3 module, and I can start typing a solution. So in this case, I'm just going to add a comment. This is the start of my solution to problem 1. And so this is my current solution. So I'm going to go back over here to Jovian. If I look at the modification date, there it's 2220, still 2220. I've got an IPython notebook checkpoints directory. That's snapshots of the notebook. But I'm going to now add M2 homework. This is adding that file to the repository. I'm going to commit it with a message of adding a demo solution. And now I can push it back up to Bitbucket. Now, if you're not using SSH, that should have prompted you for your Bitbucket password. You type that in, and then if we come over here, if I look at my source, I see now I have this homework 2b directory. I have this notebook, and I can see what I have modified here. If I look in a source directory, I should be able to see the code that I typed in, which is just saying this is the start of my solution to problem 1. See if I can see this here. I think what happened is I committed it before it got saved. Oh, wrong one. That's why. Let's see. This is not a solution yet. Just adding some code. If I come back here to Jovian, to my terminal, and I do a get status, I see, it's been modified. So it's been modified since I last added it and committed it. So I can add this file again. Just say I expanded my solution to problem 1. And then I can push it back up. It's going to push up to Bitbucket. I come over here to my repository, and I look at my source. It was updated just now. I see this homework 2b. It was modified 17 seconds ago. It's telling me that this is that I expanded my solution to problem 1, and see if we can. Here we can see. Here's the start of my problem 1 solution, etc. Anyway, so the code's up there, and it can now be graded by Eric or Tom, or Eric, Tom, or myself can add, give comments, help, etc. Through this process. So that's what we're going to be doing at each one of these homeworks. We're going to copy the notebook. Let's see if I just bring back let me come back here to let's come over here. I'm going to copy the homework notebook from the module that's part of the course material to my homework solution repository. I make modifications to that notebook, I add it, I commit it, and push it. That's the cycle we're going to be doing over and over. Copy the notebook to our homework repository, modify it, edit it, use git to add it, commit it, and push it. And the push is what's going to put it back up to Bitbucket.